Imagine a scenario where the longing for closeness drives you to seek a release, only to have your younger brother unexpectedly enter your sanctuary, witnessing a moment that was meant to be private. How would you navigate the sudden intrusion and the tangled emotions that follow? Let me take you on a journey through my experiences. Once upon a time, there was a young woman named Tiffany. At the age of 22, I found myself immersed in an unforgettable experience just a few weeks back during my return home for fall break. To set the scene, it had been more than 2 years since I last set foot in my home, as I was immersed in my studies on a distant continent. But at long last, the universe conspired in my favor and I secured a ticket back home. The moment was filled with deep emotions as I reunited with my parents. An overwhelming wave of feelings washed over me upon returning home after such a long time, and then, like a character stepping onto the stage, Jason appeared. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Jason who happened to be my little brother. We journeyed through our childhood side by side, forever in each other's company. He was a bit younger than I, a tall, clumsy lad in those days. In our younger days, he was like a constant companion, always trailing behind me. A silent presence in my adventures, yet as he stepped through the door, I found it hard to see the familiar face I once knew. The one skinny, shy boy I knew has transformed into a tall, broad-shouldered man, exuding a quiet confidence that speaks volumes. He seemed to have emerged from the pages of a vibrant Instagram post, clad in a snug black shirt that caught the eye. As I embraced him, a firm muscle in his back pressed against me. It was like a dream unfolding before my eyes. "How did you come to be who you are today?" I exclaimed, drawing back, truly taken aback. He chuckled softly, a hand moving to scratch the back of his neck, a gesture that spoke of both amusement and a hint of shyness. Indeed, it unfolds. It was more than just his appearance. His scent was nothing short of enchanting. It was either the cologne or simply him, but it took me by surprise. As the evening unfolded, my gaze kept drifting toward him, my eyes capturing the subtle details that had previously escaped my notice. His laughter resonated with a rich depth, his eyes radiated a serene vitality. It felt as if I was encountering a stranger, yet deep down, I had known him forever, very well. Let me cut to the chase. That first night back, after all the warm embraces, sharing stories, and indulging in my mom's legendary lasagna, I was utterly exhausted. The journey stretched on for more than 18 hours, filled with layovers and delays that sapped every bit of my energy. Once we had all exchanged our goodnights, I made my way upstairs to take a shower and then settled down to rest in my familiar old rooms. Now, let me share something with you. My old room remained largely unchanged since the last time I saw it. My parents transformed parts of it into a guest room, yet they preserved all my posters, my bookshelf brimming with young adult novels, and even some remnants of my high school days scattered about. It felt as though one had crossed the threshold into a moment preserved in time. A wave of nostalgia washed over me. Yet all I truly desired was to curl up in bed and drift into a deep sleep. As I stepped into the shower, the hot water cascaded over me, gently easing the stiffness that clung to my body from the long plane ride. It was a remarkable sensation, akin to the first genuine moment of tranquility I had experienced in weeks. Once I completed my task, I donned an oversized t-shirt, extinguished the lights, and nestled beneath the blankets in my room. It was cool, cozy, and enveloped in a serene hush. The sort of stillness that only the place of your youth can provide. I can't quite pinpoint whether it was the jet lag, the weight of school finally lifting, or perhaps the unexpected return of Jason into my life that stirred something within me. As I lay there in the dark, my thoughts began to drift, painting vivid images in the shadows around me. It had truly been ages since I experienced any form of intimacy, a remarkably long stretch of time. Amidst the whirlwind of schoolwork and the ebb and flow of life, I found myself lacking both the time and the energy to forge those deeper connections with others. So I thought, why not carve out a moment just for me? In that moment, solitude enveloped me. In the stillness of the house, a profound silence enveloped everything. In that instant, it seemed as though the universe had conspired to create the ideal opportunity for unwinding. I shut my eyes and allowed my hands to roam, gently gliding over my skin to begin the journey. The feeling enveloped me, gentle and soothing, as if it were a pathway leading me back to my own essence. As my fingertips danced across my lips, then traced the curve of my neck, a warmth began to swell within me, igniting a spark of something profound. Yet, my mind played tricks on me as suddenly, Jason's face emerged from the depths of my thoughts. It wasn't something I had orchestrated. Yet there he stood, his jawline defined, hair tousled just so, exuding a quiet confidence. In that moment, a warmth ignited within me, radiating outward like an uncontrollable blaze. I attempted to dismiss it, convincing myself that it was merely my mind playing tricks after so many years apart. Yet the thought clung to me, and the harder I fought to cast it aside, the more it intensified. I found myself envisioning him, pondering the ways in which he had transformed over time. How his deep laugh carried a certain edge to it. I envisioned the warmth of his embrace from earlier, the strength of him beneath my touch. And before I realized it, I surrendered to the thought that had taken hold. I welcomed it inside. I let my fingers glide downwards. I surrendered to the enveloping warmth that was blossoming around me. My breathing began to shift, becoming shallow and rapid. As I descended further into the experience, the atmosphere enveloped me in a profound silence, as if the entire universe had slipped into the shadows, leaving only me and this powerful sensation blossoming within. And then there he was once more, vividly alive in my thoughts. Jason, this time. I let it unfold without interference. I envisioned his hands, confident and steady, gliding over my skin. His voice a soft murmur, playfully whispering my name. It was so vivid, as if he were right there beside me. And I found myself irresistibly drawn into the fantasy. My body responded immediately, mirroring the movement of my fingers. The graceful arch of my form. It all pulsed with energy. Every nerve in my body tingled with life. And the warmth I had sensed before transformed into an undeniable force that demanded my attention. It was a delightful blend of warmth and thrill, as if I were embarking on an adventure that felt both fresh and familiar. And let me emphasize, it wasn't merely a physical sensation. There was a profound emotional depth to it as well. Perhaps it was the undeniable influence Jason had on my life as I was growing up. Or maybe it was the sheer astonishment of encountering him once more after all these years, appearing and behaving like someone entirely transformed. Whatever it was, it resonated with a profound strength. I released all my inhibitions, fully embracing the essence of the moment. My hands danced with newfound assurance, and my breath deepened, filling the air with anticipation. Jason's image in my mind sharpened, his hands resting on my waist, his lips gently grazing my ear. It was off limits, undeniably. This was Jason, the young boy I once cared for when I was just 14. And that connection only heightened the intensity of the moment. It was a sensation that tugged at my very core, a conflict of emotions swirling within me. Yet there was an undeniable allure that beckoned me closer. The echo of his laughter, the way his eyes danced with delight when he smiled, flooded my mind once more. Yet, this time, it was intertwined with a fresh wave of attraction that left me feeling utterly unprepared. The room was shrouded in shadows, illuminated solely by the soft, flickering light of the street lamp casting its glow through my window. The atmosphere was dense, almost electric. As I allowed my thoughts to delve further into the depths, every touch sent shivers through me, and every thought of him made my heart race faster. But just as I was completely in the midst of the unfolding scene, a flicker of uncertainty stirred within me. A soft, lingering voice in the recesses of my thoughts murmured, "What are you doing? This is Jason." A jolt of cold water that caught me off guard. For a fleeting moment, I found myself pausing, eyes wide open, gazing up at the ceiling, attempting to unravel the emotions swirling within me. Yet, just as swiftly as that moment of uncertainty arrived, it slipped away. I reassured myself that it was merely a figment of my imagination. A simple escape after a tiring day, harmless, without consequence. So, I gently closed my eyes once more, surrendering to that comforting, electric haze that enveloped me. My fingers danced with intent, surrendering fully to the unfolding fantasy. This time, there was in the stillness, only the rhythm of my breath and the gentle embrace of the blankets filled the air. In my mind's eye, I conjured the scene where Jason stood before me, his hands embodying a comforting warmth, yet carrying the rugged texture that comes from hard work and dedication. Once upon a time, in a world filled with endless possibilities, there existed a singular entity, a being of profound thoughts and dreams. This entity embarked on a journey, weaving tales that danced through the air like whispers of the wind. Each moment was a thread, each experience a vibrant color, painting a tapestry of life that captivated the hearts of all who listened. The essence of existence unfolded, revealing the magic hidden in the mundane. As the narrative flowed like a river, winding through valleys of imagination and peaks of wonder. And so, the journey continued, a never-ending saga waiting to be told. His voice lingered in my mind, low and teasing, calling my name in a way that sent delightful shivers up my spine. His eyes lingered in my thoughts, a captivating blend of mischief and tranquility, as if he held a secret just beyond my reach. And that was the essence of it. It felt like a secret, as if I were stepping over an unseen boundary. Yet that only heightened the thrill. My being resonated completely with the essence of the moment. My breathing grew heavy, and I found myself on the brink of something profound when suddenly, it unfolded out of absolutely nowhere. The door to my room burst open with a sudden force, no knock, No warning, just the resounding crash as it slammed against the wall. Tiffany. Jason's voice sliced through the air with a sharpness that demanded attention. I stood completely still, as if time itself had come to a halt. Every muscle in my body tightened and my mind felt like it had short-circuited, leaving me frozen like a deer caught in headlights. Jason, oh my God, he stood there, his eyes widening in shock as he grasped the scene before him. The silence enveloped us, heavy and deafening. I could see the precise instant his mind grasped the unfolding events. His jaw fell open. His face flushed a vivid crimson and he remained utterly still, as if time itself had paused around him. He remained steadfast, his gaze unwavering. He gazed, his mouth slightly ajar, as if his whole being had come to a standstill. Meanwhile, I remained there, feeling foolish and utterly vulnerable, not in body but in spirit, which somehow felt even more devastating. I found myself frozen, unable to utter a single word. It felt as though my mind was locked, unable to grasp the unfolding events. At long last, after what seemed like a never-ending stretch of time, the cogs in my mind began to spin once more. Jason! What on earth is going on? I called out, my voice resonating, far more boisterous than I had planned. He jolted back to reality, his eyes fluttering open in quick succession. I had no idea you always left your door wide open. With a swift motion, he retaliated, propping himself up and seizing a pillow to shield his form. Though I was completely attired, my heart raced, and not in a pleasant manner any longer. Jason's face was still a deep shade of red, yet a small smirk crept onto his lips, hinting at something more beneath the surface. At the corner of his mouth, I felt an overwhelming urge to hurl something his way. You might want to hang a sign or something, he said, retreating from the room with his hands raised as if in surrender, just casually mentioning it. Then, the little fool burst into a full-on laugh, as if he hadn't just stumbled upon the most mortifying moment of my existence. He shut the door with a soft click, and I could hear the sound of his footsteps echoing down the stairs, his laughter trailing behind him like a playful whisper. I found myself sitting there, utterly astonished. My face burned with intensity, my heart raced wildly, and an overwhelming urge to retreat into the shadows consumed me. Yet, this is where the tale takes a turn. Even me, surprised. It dawned on me that the entire experience had, in some unexpected manner, left its mark on me. As I lingered in that moment, replaying the events in my mind, I found myself unable to shake the vivid image of his expression, the way he froze, eyes wide and mouth agape. It was etched in my mind. And rather than feeling embarrassed, I experienced an unusual thrill, as if he perceived me not merely in a physical sense, but in this raw, unguarded moment. As much as I loathed to acknowledge it, that realization ignited a deeper attraction within me. The embarrassment lingered, undeniably present, yet it intertwined with a sense of something more. An electric thrill that lingered in the air. My thoughts continually drifted back to him, framed in the doorway. The transformation of his expression, moving from shock to amusement, was a sight to behold. The air between us crackled with an intensity that felt like it had reached its peak, leaving no room for retreat. I attempted to cast it aside, to concentrate on anything else, but it proved futile. The picture of him, that moment, was etched into my memory, and each time it crossed my mind, that spark ignited into an all-consuming blaze. For the next few hours, I found myself wandering around my room, seeking to soothe my racing thoughts and unravel the whirlwind of emotions within me. Yet, with each passing moment of reflection, it became increasingly clear that something profound had shifted. This had transcended mere attraction. It centered around him. Once upon a time, there was a character named Jason, the companion of my childhood, the fellow who once had a knack for getting under my skin. The companion I had lost to the passage of time. A familiar face I hadn't encountered in what felt like an eternity. I could no longer ignore the truth. I desired him, and not merely as a figment of imagination. I desired him. The entire following day, my mind was consumed by the events that had unfolded. No matter what I did, the embarrassment faded away from my thoughts. It was an exhilarating experience. Jason, in contrast, carried on as if the world around him remained unchanged. He was just like any other morning, sharing laughter over breakfast, casually scrolling through his phone as my mom excitedly shared her latest culinary inspiration. It was as if the entire situation didn't even touch him. In that moment, I found myself seated, struggling to meet anyone's gaze, a sensation of impending combustion swirling within me. Throughout the day, I found myself skillfully dodging him, a challenge indeed in such a cramped space. In the midst of a quiet day, I lent a hand to my mom with the laundry, took a moment to catch up on some emails, and sought refuge in the pages of a book that had long awaited my attention. Yet, no matter the distractions I sought, my thoughts continually wandered back to him. As the afternoon began to wane, my father summoned me into the living room. They were perched on the couch, a picture of contentment as if the world outside had faded away. "We're on the verge of revealing some exciting news. We're heading out tonight," my dad announced. "Your grandparents could use a hand with a few things. So we're heading over there. It seems we may linger into the night, yet rest assured, we shall return at the break of dawn. Tomorrow we shall honor your return in the grandest of ways." "Very well," I nodded, attempting to maintain an air of calm, even as my heart began to race with an intensity I couldn't ignore. Jason sat on the floor across the room, lost in the pages of a magazine, each flip revealing a new glimpse into a world waiting to be explored. My father summoned him. "Next, Jason, the reins are in your hands while we venture away." "Very well, let's keep the flames at bay." Jason lifted his gaze and smiled. "No guarantees, but I'll give it my best shot." My mom chuckled, and they began gathering their belongings to make their exit. In just a fleeting moment of 10 minutes, the house fell into a serene silence once more. It was only Jason and I. Initially, I attempted to maintain my composure. I lingered in my room, my fingers dancing over the screen of my phone, feigning indifference to the symphony of sounds he created just beyond my door. I could hear him moving around downstairs, the clink of dishes as he grabbed something from the kitchen, the soft hum of the TV as he settled in to watch something. Yet, as I lingered in that place, a growing restlessness began to stir within me. The echoes of last night lingered vividly in my thoughts, and my body thrummed with a palpable tension, and truly, I yearned for more. It felt as though a certain transformation had taken place within me. My mind was not occupied with the potential pitfalls or the awkwardness that could arise from the situation. All I knew was that I desired him, and I was determined not to let my thoughts cloud my heart this time. I lingered in the shadows, the night wrapping around me like a cloak, the house still and silent save for the soft murmur of the television echoing from below. And then, when the weight of it all became too much to bear, I decided it was time to act. With quiet steps, I slipped out of my room and made my way down the hallway toward Jason's room. The door stood ever so slightly open, and as I leaned in to catch a glimpse, there he was, nestled in his bed, lost in the depths of slumber. He lay on his side, his back turned to the door, one arm cradled beneath his pillow. For a fleeting moment, I paused. My heart raced fiercely as if it might stir him from his slumber. As I lingered in that moment, a wave of courage, perhaps a hint of recklessness, washed over me. With a deep breath, I stepped inside and gently closed the door behind me, sealing my fate in the quiet shadows. The room was softly illuminated by the gentle glow of his desk lamp. His slow, steady breathing reached my ears, causing my own breath to falter. With great care, I ascended the bed and settled beside him, my body thrumming with anticipation. Yet I found myself unable to resist. I mirrored his position, lying on my side with my back to him, close enough to feel the warmth radiating from his body. For a moment, I simply lay there, allowing the tension to rise. The quiet and stillness enveloping might was utterly intoxicating. My thoughts were a whirlwind, yet my body was in perfect harmony with its desires. I began to inch forward, subtly drawing nearer to him. As my hand grazed his, he stirred slightly in his slumber, yet remained lost in his dreams. My heart raced, yet I pressed on, undeterred. As he rolled over, his eyes fluttered open gradually, blinking in an attempt to grasp the unfolding reality. As he caught sight of me, his expression transformed from a haze of drowsy bewilderment to one of sheer astonishment. "Tiffany, what tale are you weaving today?" His voice carried a rough, gravelly texture, a testament to the embrace of sleep. In the beginning, I remained silent, simply extending my hand to grasp his, guiding it gently to rest against my waist. His hand radiated warmth and strength, and for a fleeting moment he stood still, gazing at me as if he were in disbelief of the unfolding scene. "It's your fault," I murmured, my voice a mere breath, "for entering my room without so much as a knock." He gazed at me, his face a tapestry of confusion woven with an elusive thread of emotion, something I couldn't quite decipher. Yet gradually, he began to ease into calmness. His hand glided effortlessly against my side, and in that instant, I witnessed the moment he surrendered. For a fleeting moment, the world around us seemed to blur. Jason's hand lingered above me, trembling with uncertainty. Even I could sense the uncertainty in his touch, that palpable tension that arises when someone is treading through entirely unfamiliar ground. His palm lay softly, fingers quivering ever so slightly. In the beginning, I found myself questioning whether he would truly follow through with his intentions. He gazed at me, a blend of confusion, fear, and curiosity dancing in his eyes. I could see the wheels turning in his head, likely contemplating whether to make a run for it, chuckle it away, or embrace whatever was unfolding before us. Honestly, I struggled to maintain my composure, but then in an instant, something shifted. I offered him a subtle nod, a quiet assurance that all was well, that this was my desire, that he needn't dwell on it too much. That small gesture of comfort appeared to be precisely what he required. His hand began to glide tentatively at first, as if he were gauging the depths of an unseen current. His fingers brushed against my side, warm and steady, yet still tinged with uncertainty. His face was a canvas of uncertainty, yet it bore the brush strokes of determination. He yearned to embark on this journey, determined to navigate it with care, even if the path ahead remained shrouded in uncertainty. In that moment, the air thickened with tension, his hand grazed my skin, and a shaky breath escaped my lips. A testament to the electricity that crackled between us. It transcended mere physical sensation. It was the intensity of his effort, the way he was so earnestly attempting to understand me, to discern what brought pleasure and what did not. It held a certain rawness, a profound vulnerability that resonated deeply. I rested my hand upon his chest, sensing the gentle rhythm of his breath as it ebbed and flowed beneath my palm. His skin radiated warmth beneath my palm, and I could sense the subtle texture of muscle beneath the surface. His chest stood out, strong and sturdy, and I found myself drawn to the delicate veins tracing along his arms, subtly illuminated even in the soft glow of the surroundings. As Jason delved deeper into the experience, the weight of his nervousness began to lift, allowing him to embrace the moment fully. His movements took on a newfound confidence, each one more deliberate than the last. He had moved beyond mere clumsiness. He was now fully engaged, observing my responses and adapting with finesse. Truly, he was excelling in his approach. A small smile crept onto my face, even as my body tightened with eager anticipation. There was a certain charm in the way he approached this, as if he were unearthing something completely fresh, pouring his entire heart into the endeavor. It wasn't flawless, naturally. There were instances where his lack of experience became evident, moments of hesitation or slight missteps. Yet, the dedication he poured into it, the evident focus on crafting a memorable experience for both of us, overshadowed any shortcomings. For me, it was an overwhelming sensation, and in the most delightful way. Every sensation resonated deeply, as if my whole being was harmonized with him. The room pulsed with heat, the air dense and charged, and I could sense an electric current weaving its way between us. It was a revelation, far beyond my expectations, an intensity that surged through me like a forgotten memory awakening. With each fleeting moment, Jason's confidence blossomed, radiating like the dawn breaking over the horizon. His movements flowed with grace, exuding confidence. I could perceive the transformation within him, the way his fear began to dissolve, giving way to a newfound courage. As for me, I was completely immersed in the experience, lost in the magic of the moment. In that moment, it felt as though the world around us dissolved. The awkwardness, the hesitation, the fear of what this might signify, all of it vanished into thin air. What truly mattered was him and the bond we were forging. The way we were both completely immersed in this moment. In that fleeting instant, it created a surge of unadulterated feeling that rendered me utterly breathless. It was a force unlike anything I had ever encountered. A blend of strength that transcended the physical realm, intertwining with deep emotional currents. It was in the way he gazed at me, the earnestness in his efforts, the shared experience of venturing into uncharted territory side by side. I released a nervous chuckle, my forehead pressed against his, realizing that you're more skilled at this than I ever imagined. I playfully nudged, my voice a gentle murmur in the air. He beamed, a blend of pride and relief illuminating his features. I never imagined I would make it through this, he confessed, his voice barely above a whisper. We both laughed, the tension between us melting away into a warmth that felt lighter. And in that moment, I realized this was more than just the events that had transpired. It was about him. As if guided by an unseen force, I leaned in. It wasn't a grand, dramatic gesture, but rather a gentle, gradual motion. I sought to offer him an opportunity to retreat if he felt the need. Yet he stood firm, his gaze danced to my lips, and that was the spark I craved. Our lips met softly at first, almost as if we were dipping our toes into a new experience. They were warm and surprisingly soft, and there was a hint of uncertainty in his kiss, as if he were still questioning whether this moment was truly unfolding. Yet, as the seconds flowed by, that uncertainty began to dissolve, giving way to something deeper. He tilted his head slightly, leaning into the kiss with a touch more confidence. And I felt that familiar rush of heat flood through me. I can't quite put my finger on what it was about Jason. Perhaps it was the thrill of the forbidden, the unexpected nature of it all. But everything about him in that moment was igniting a wildfire within me. I sensed his inexperience in the way he kissed me, as if he were navigating uncharted waters. But that only added to the charm of the moment, making it feel more authentic. I chose to seize the reins. I nudged him back, softly steering him until he reclined comfortably on the couch. For a fleeting moment, his eyes grew wide, yet he chose not to resist. I ascended to his waist, positioning myself above him, and a smile crept onto my face as I gazed down at him. His expression was a blend of nervousness and wonder, as if he could hardly fathom that this moment was unfolding before us. "Take a breath," I whispered, gliding my fingers along his chest. His shirt had hiked up a bit, unveiling a glimpse of toned skin and the subtle line of his abs. I let my fingers glide along that line, sensing the tension of his muscles beneath my touch. As he began to speak, I silenced him with another kiss, one that was deeper and more intense than before. I sensed his tension ease away under my presence. His hands cautiously found their place on my hips. The kiss deepened, filled with an insatiable desire, overflowing with fervor. My fingers wove through his hair, a gentle tug causing him to shiver beneath me. His hands gripped my hips, and for a fleeting moment, I pondered whether he would finally seize control. But he held back. He gazed up at me, utterly immersed in the experience, allowing me to take the reins. And truthfully, I cherished it. There was an undeniable thrill in taking the reins and leading him through this journey, and observing his reactions unfold before me. His breath caught each time I stirred. Each time I adjusted my weight or let my fingers glide over his skin. It was intoxicating. Realizing the impact I had on him, a spark that ignited a newfound confidence within him. As his hands began to wander more freely, exploring the world around us, I sensed the transformation within him. How he was beginning to release his anxieties and truly savor the experience, and for me, it was nothing short of remarkable. Each touch, each kiss, every subtle movement, all resonated with a deeper intensity, as if the world around them had come alive in vibrant detail. Uncertainty swirled around me, a tantalizing mix of the forbidden, the rush of adrenaline, and the undeniable presence of him. In that moment, I felt an intense heat coursing through my veins, igniting my very being. With each kiss, the intensity deepened, a fervent urgency taking hold. His heartbeat resonated with mine, a rhythmic dance as his chest rose and fell swiftly, drawing us deeper into one another's embrace. I glided my fingers along his arms, sensing the power within them, the way his muscles responded to my caress. I longed for him deeply, yet this full-on nerd was without any means of protection. In that moment, I hesitated, knowing the implications, so I gracefully lowered myself to my knees, positioning myself at his feet, and proceeded with my intentions. Very well, here's a refined rendition that upholds a tone of respect and safety, while still capturing the closeness of how events transpired. It was as if we were caught in a dance, a rhythm that was both strange and fresh for us. As I shifted my stance, I observed the way his body reacted, as if he were encountering this profound connection for the very first time. He moved with a blend of curiosity and hesitation, yet there was an unmistakable aura of vulnerability surrounding him. I lowered myself and knelt beside him, not in haste, but with the intention of ensuring he felt at ease. Every detail of the moment unfolded as if time itself had slowed, a palpable sense of trust gradually weaving itself between us. In that space, there were no expectations, only the shared understanding that we were delving into this moment together. In that moment, they connected deeply, both physically and emotionally. His responses felt authentic, tinged with a hint of nervousness, yet he was undeniably engaged in the unfolding experience. It was evident that this experience was uncharted territory for him, and I held that in high regard. I simply let the moment blossom on its own, free from any pressure on either side. In these kinds of moments, the physical aspect is merely a fragment of the whole experience. What truly captivated me was the way we conveyed our thoughts and feelings through our actions, always honoring boundaries and fostering a sense of mutual understanding. As the final moments faded away, I rose to my feet, a lingering haze clouding my thoughts, and glanced over at Jason. In a moment of spontaneity, I inquired, "Are you a virgin?" He held his gaze steady. He met my gaze and simply said no, his voice unwavering. Yet there was a quality in his tone that caused me to hesitate. As if he were on the brink of revealing something more, I continued to gaze at him. And then he confessed, "All right, you caught me, sis." At first, I was too caught up in my own thoughts to truly grasp what he was trying to convey. As I stepped out of the room, a wave of understanding washed over me, each moment unfolding like a carefully crafted tale, revealing the weight of what had just transpired. A tempest of emotions enveloped me, a chaotic blend of confusion, guilt, and perhaps a hint of shame. It was a whirlwind, yet it pulsed with life, brimming with intensity. It was an experience unlike any other, a depth of feeling I had never encountered, not even with the finest companions I had known. The thought lingered, a whisper in the back of my mind, suggesting perhaps I had ventured too far, crossed an invisible line. Yet, as I replayed those moments, the sensations flooded back, vivid and undeniable. It was unlike anything that had come before. That part was impossible to overlook. The sensation that everything was perfectly aligned in that moment. Even now, in the aftermath, a wave of sickness washed over me for what I did to Jason. Yet I couldn't shake the undeniable thrill of it all. Was that acceptable? Was it just, I'm uncertain. I'm still on a journey to unravel it all, truly. But what are your thoughts? Is guilt something I should carry with me? Share your thoughts with me in the comments below.